Hello and what is going on today, guys? Tomcat here, and today we are in Spin Tires and we are not going to be test driving this truck. We are going to be test driving that truck. Now, as far as anything I can work out, it's called the Mongo, and it's a bit of a, well, it looks like it's basically ready for war, and the default wheels are pretty badass, yet we could go for thinner wheels, which I don't know really why you'd want, or chained wheels, which they only chain them up in the back. I'm going to go with the default ones because I think they look pretty good. And let's see, what do we really have as options for this thing? We've got, let's see, short logs trailer. We won't really be needing that. Got this far cop, which I guess is a hitch. Whoa. Okay, so it's repair points. It's like a top, a fuel tank, big fuel tank, a gun, which we will be immediately installing, which is worth 1,000 repair points somehow. Spare tire, beacons, which why not? Carriage trailer, garage trailer, or utility trailer. Now, we're not going to be using any trailers on this thing right now. Instead, we're just going to take it out and see what we can get up to with it. I mean, honestly, this thing is one of those things where you're like, how can I get this stuck? Let me attempt to get this stuck. And I feel like this isn't going to be that long of a mod review. I think it's going to be a little bit quicker just because of the fact that this thing is so, I don't know, so crazy. There aren't many, like, practical applications for us to test this thing in, but let's see if we can get up this hill even. I think the issue we're running into is that blade, because the blade is just getting caught on the front of the, like, since it's so far out, you have this huge overhang on the front of the vehicle, and you're not really able to get up anything. Which kind of makes it sort of useless climbing hills. There we go. Well, kind of. Alright, I'm going to put the parking brake on. Let's get you hooked to a tree. Come on. There, now that the front tires are over, it's fine. Oh, don't you even dare fall backwards. But I think the thing about this truck is the fact that it's not really a purpose-built off-roader. I mean, it is, but at the same time, it isn't. I mean, you're not going to be using this thing to rock crawl or hill climb or anything like that. You're going to be using it more for, like, well, pushing other lesser vehicles out of the way. You're going to be using it as a makeshift bulldozer. Actually, you know what? We're right at the beach. This thing would be awesome on the beach, I feel like. You can use it to get rid of little tree, like, you know, just demolish small trees. Oh god, high is super slow compared to 5th gear. As far as overall performance on the beach, I mean, the problem is that the suspension is actually kind of stiff. So you're always having to kind of like, you're always bouncing, and it doesn't really lend itself well to many applications, honestly. I mean, this thing is kind of a disappointment, if I'm like, to be brutally honest, this thing is a bit of a disappointment. I mean, sure, it looks amazing, it looks absolutely badass, but if you can't use it, then I'm trying to figure out what you would do with it anyway. Like, you can kind of use it, like, put it this way. It's better than a UAZ in some ways, but in other ways, it's not as good. It really is not as good as a UAZ in a lot of scenarios, and that's kind of a bummer for me. Let's see, advanced mode, what can we do? Oh, that's just a repair for the gun. You use it for repair points, and honestly, I mean, I think that, like, when it comes down to it, I don't like this truck anymore. I mean, using it for a little while, I mean, sure, but the power is not great, and like, I don't know, the climbing abilities are not great, the off-road abilities are not great, but you know what, it's got one great redeeming factor that I feel like a lot of people are going to want this truck for. It looks insane. It looks absolutely ridiculous, and it looked absolutely insane, and I think that, to me, honestly, I'm sure there are people out there that's like what they would want in a truck, like, as long as they can use it to pull a trailer or something. I mean, sure, there are very few more stylish ways to pull a trailer and spin tires than this truck. I think this truck is like, I mean, it's amazing. It's legit as far as that goes, but the actual off-road ability is kind of maybe a 6 or 7 out of 10, as compared to, say, you know, a lot of trucks that I review normally, which are more like 9 or 10 out of 10 as far as off-roadability. I mean, a lot of the trucks I've been reviewing lately especially are very, you know, either have really, really flexy suspensions or are extremely powerful or have some kind of, you know, huge advantage while off-road, whereas this, it's just kind of okay. You know, it's just kind of okay in comparison. Come on. Oh, come on. Up the hill! But see what I mean? Even with the lockers on, it's still having major trouble getting up what should be a fairly easy hill. All in all, though, I feel like if you added more flex to the suspension and you beefed up the power a little bit or added like much shorter gears, this thing could be a monster. It could be a huge, like, absolute monster. But until those things actually happen, I don't feel like this thing is the best rig, per se. I feel like you might be better off looking elsewhere if you want a, you know, if you want a rig that looks really badass, but you also need to be able to get around in the game. I think that you might be better off looking at other rigs. Now, not to say anything against this rig, I just feel like it's got a little bit of a ways to go for it to really become a properly usable off-roader. Now, do I think it's bad? No, not at all. Do I think it's okay? Like, it's somewhere between. It's good, not great. I feel like that's the best way to describe this thing. It's good, not great. But if you want a, you know, insane-looking off-roader, but, you know, are willing to deal with maybe the fact that it's not as good of a climber or as good of a, you know, a mudding vehicle as some other vehicles, then, and if you're okay with that, then go for it. I mean, I think it's kind of right around that good, not great level, but I think that if the mod maker actually changed a couple of those things that I mentioned, it could be amazing. But if you guys enjoyed this quick mod test and spin tires, don't forget to click that like button. Tell me in the comment section down below what you guys thought of it. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe for more. And I will see you guys in the next one. Talk to you guys later. Hope you guys enjoyed.